Welcome back to the 8:30 show. Have you noticed the shrinking of products lately?
Yes, I have.
But they cost the same price or more
Or more,
for
yeah.
less.
hmm Yes, I have noticed that. They call it shrinkflation.
Interesting.
It's been going on forever, but it's happening more now, especially after the pandemic. Menus changed, especially for fast food restaurants, but even regular restaurants like not McDonald's type of places, they changed their
Yeah.
menu and yeah, you're paying more for less, and even now it's like super expensive to go out to eat. And
Yeah.
then you're going to the supermarket. I think we talked about this before where I'm paying, and that's just us what we eat based on what we eat, and it's about 10 bucks is what I said. And I calculated it the other night and it was like $15 for what we ate. And
That's still not bad.
it's not, but it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to have to be able to afford that and afford everything else that, you know, a normal person has to pay. Especially when you're buying food and it's not the same amount as before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that came from, well, just from time, but I think it got exacerbated with the pandemic.
Well, a lot of things did with the pandemic, but yeah, that is one of them.
Hmm.
Fast food restaurants, they changed their menu,
For
and
the
they
bad.
made and they made some of their products smaller, or they're giving less condiments. They're like really charging for that stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's go to the supermarket and you'll see the difference in a lot of things that you buy, the size, the price. And so yeah, so like you said, the price is the same but
Hmm.
it's less, or
Yeah.
it's not as big
Yeah.
as it used to be. So the other day we went and bought some drumsticks, the Nestle drumsticks from the supermarket, and I remember them being a lot bigger. And I know that they sell the little ones,
The
the
minis.
little
Yeah.
minis. Yeah, but this is not a mini, but it should be a mini. It's like the medium size of what a drumstick should
what
be.
it what it used to be.
Yeah, it's like the perfect amount of ice cream, the perfect, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
just smaller. But you're being charged the same price. Their price didn't change.
Well, I heard that's happening with a lot of products that they've reduced the quantity or the size that it was, and but they're either charging the same price for less, or they're charging more still for
Which
less.
is fucking crazy.
Well, takeout started charging people for the styrofoam containers and the plasticware and blamed it on COVID. It's like, but you guys were already doing this. Why is this different now?
Yeah.
Um, it's a trip, and there's no relief in sight. They're gonna
No, it's
continue
just
doing it.
gonna. It reminds me of Demolition Man. You guys remember Demolition Man?
Wesley Snipes, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, great movie. They're in the future. If you don't know the movie, basically Stallone catches Wesley Snipes. He's a criminal,
Hmm.
and he goes to prison, but Stallone somehow ends up cryogenically get or whatever.
He disobeyed orders.
There you
Some
go.
people got killed, so they froze Wesley's black ass and Stallone's white ass.
And so then someone thawed Wesley out.
Well, no, he got thought out because he was up for parole for the parole board hearing,
Whatever. He got thawed out,
so he got thought out.
and he was out running amok. So the only person they could get was the guy they froze, which was Stallone.
Who caught him the last time?
Yeah. And so now we're in the future where Arnold Schwarzenegger is our president, and Taco Bell. our
Rules
favorite,
them all.
is an upscale restaurant, and everything is very like clean and beautiful and nice, but there's rules that you have to live by in order to live in that society. And there's a whole underground society who
With
they,
Dennis Leary.
yeah, and they eat rats and shit, you know.
So I
Hold on,
gotta
hold on. Let
hold on
me
before you finish. I got a
go
fun
ahead.
fact. Fun fact about this movie.
Hmm.
So in the American version,
Hmm.
it was Taco Bell. In other regions, it was Pizza Hut.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, they own them.
yeah.
Yeah, so okay,
So
I can see
they
that.
overdubbed the word Taco Bell for Pizza Hut.
Interesting. And then back then, Taco Bell had changed their entire look because of the movie. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Yeah, they
Like,
brought it to the future.
yeah, and they changed the colors. It was
Yeah,
no longer like yellow and red
yeah,
or whatever it was. It was like purple and silver or something.
yeah, yeah.
And but their food portions were nothing. And I feel like that's where we are, or we're headed in that direction, because Taco Bell is headed in exactly the way the movie is being depicted.
So what you're saying is you're gonna get a Mexican pizza, but it's gonna be one tortilla chip
Yeah, yeah.
with the
With
Mexican
the,
pizza
yeah,
ingredients on top.
and a little like chive and, and a little, yeah,
Olive.
an olive, a black olive, yeah. And you got your taste, and it's $20 for
Hmm.
that chip. Yeah.
Enjoy.
So not too long ago, not too, I mean, maybe it was a minute ago, but a few years back, you could get a grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. It was about $5, and it was pretty big.
Yeah,
Like, it was
yeah.
a hefty burrito. And now they got some other grilled burrito,
Caca
and
burger.
that shit is the size of the bean and cheese burrito.
Yeah,
And they're charging like $6 for that shit. Are you
and it's
kidding
not
me?
even that good.
I don't know. I didn't have
It's
it,
not as
but
good
yeah.
as the original.
But yeah, so that's madness.
Yeah. My thing is like, okay, even if you're gonna downsize, at least make it taste good.
A cup of coffee at McDonald's is over $3 now, the large cup. That's crazy to me. Like, a cup of
I've
coffee.
never, I've never purchased coffee from McDonald's, so I wouldn't even know what to tell you with a regular or a medium.
I, on my way into work, especially like if I'm in a hurry, because
Hmm.
I hate being late. So if I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to make coffee here, I pick it up on the way
Yeah.
to work. And it's quick because it's super early in the morning. So there's no one there.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's over $3. And when I was paying before they raised the price, I was like, this is an outrage. This is an outrage for a large cup of coffee. Like, that's crazy. And their coffee's good.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. And then it's so much. It's what we're being charged for everything is just
It's inflation.
insanity.
It's inflation with forced inflation from the pandemic on top of it,
Yeah.
which isn't real inflation. It's
No,
just, well, it's not real inflation because we didn't run out of anything during the pandemic. What
except for
happened
toilet
was,
paper.
well, we technically didn't even run out of toilet paper. What happened was everyone in each city and state went to their local grocery stores and
So sorry.
did a bank run on them, you
Yeah.
know.
No, I get that.
And yeah, they didn't have the supply because that was an unusual amount of sales, and the truck drivers couldn't get the shipments to the grocery stores fast enough.
Yeah.
My friend, he's a truck driver, and he was telling me that at the warehouse where they go and pick up the merchandise,
Yeah.
after it's been delivered from the dock to the distribution hub, that it was a trail of trucks, semis waiting to get into these places because it was many so much demand
Yeah.
for everything
No, I
because
get that.
everything
Gone.
was, yeah, was
It
gone.
was gone. But
So it was, an influx of customers, influx of guys trying to get this stuff out the warehouse to your local place. So we didn't actually run out of anything. We
yeah,
just, what is it? I guess the chain of delivery cycle. That's where we saw the weak point.
I hear you. But I feel like
And because of
what
that, they start
because
charging.
of this pandemic, um, they found a way to make their money back.
A loophole.
All the money that's my theory. My
Yeah.
theory is the reason that there's inflation going on right now is because they're trying to recoup the money that they lost during that pandemic because
Mm-hmm.
they lost business, they lost employees, they
Mm-hmm.
lost a lot of, things, and shit happened, and everybody was at home and there were only few people working.
Well, not only that, but you had the government just
It's
handing out
just,
money hand
let me
over
just
foot.
tell you, it's fucking crazy. I find it crazy when I look around now and how everybody is just free as a bird,
Yeah.
walking around like that shit never fucking happened. And it was a nightmare for a lot of people, the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like it ruined lives for sure. And it killed a lot of people, and COVID, whether you believe in COVID or not, like shit happened.
Oh,
And
let me cut you off real quick
yeah,
because,
sorry.
to be honest, my experience, other than personal stuff that we had going on,
Mhm.
um, that that happened to us during that time,
Yeah.
my actual experience of the pandemic was actually pretty good. Freeways were clear out here in LA.
I understand that, but
you
I'm not
know,
talking about us. I'm
no,
not
I
talking
know you're
about
not.
our
I'm
experience.
I know you're not, but I'm talking about it.
I
I'm
know.
saying like,
I mean, we discussed this
yeah,
before where there was no traffic,
yeah,
when you were going to your mom's and stuff, so there was no traffic,
yeah.
at
15 minutes.
whatever time you went, same
15
for me.
minutes.
There was literally no cars on the road because
Yeah.
I was one of very few people that was able to go to work. I had to carry shit, just in case I got pulled over.
Yeah.
My job, they were like, we don't want you to go to jail. And I appreciate them for that. Like they actually thought of that,
Yeah.
and but yeah, so there were perks,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also that fear that they got us with, because I was terrified. I was terrified to touch anything or be around anyone, because what if I got it? And what if it killed me, cuz it was so random on,
It was so
who
new.
got
It's still new.
sick, and
Yeah.
who it affected the
How it
worst, or yeah,
affected.
how it affected them and all of that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the pandemic, I mean, for us it had its moments.
Hmm.
Um but it had other bad moments, like we couldn't go see our mothers because they were in hospitals and we weren't allowed in there,
Hmm.
and they couldn't leave because they were ill, and that was hard.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Other besides those things that we were going through family wise, everything else, it really wasn't that bad. I mean,
Shit.
as far as our family situations that we had going on at that time, I look at it, those things would have still happened. The only difference is we wouldn't been locked out from seeing them. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. It
So
just
so I'm not counting that part of it.
no, 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 I understand that. I'm just
Yeah.
stating what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
no, I get it.
Um so yeah, it had its pros and its cons. But I was just speaking in general because a lot of people did suffer,
Hmm.
because of it. They lost their homes because they couldn't work, and they had to figure things out. Some people couldn't make money. They needed food.
Hmm.
Especially after everyone wiped out the stores. There's literally nothing on the shelves
Yeah.
anywhere, and not even the mom and pop places. It's like
It
gone.
was really first come first serve, and it
Yeah.
and that first came. quick.
And then they became the rule of, the older people first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
If you were over the age of 65, I believe it was, that you could go in there and buy food early in the morning. You were the first to go
Yeah.
in. But yeah, it was crazy. I can't believe we actually lived through that.
So what other
Different companies
products
have
that suffered
done
that?
that with like Girl Scouts. I guess there's like a gap in between the cookies.
What do you mean?
So there's like 4 cookies in a little row, and there's a gap of plastic, and there's another 4 row. That was one of the pictures that I saw. Gatorade is another one where they try to make it look like, ooh, it's a new cool bottle. No,
But they shortened you.
yeah, they shorted you by like an ounce or two. I'm not exactly sure how
It used
much,
to be
but yeah,
16, now it's 15.5.
something. Yeah, but that's what they did. Like Pringles have gotten smaller,
Yeah.
is what they're saying. They Doritos are chip bags. They don't weigh as much, but they're charging you an arm and a leg for this stuff. Like I paid $5.99 for a bag of fucking Doritos, like a big ass bag.
It's funny that you say
But
that.
still, like,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I
sorry.
just saw an article
I
literally
keep saying
today.
sorry when you cut me off. Ain't that a bitch?
I literally saw an article today where it looks like right before we started podcasting right now,
Yeah.
that Chick-fil-A and I think it's Wendy's or Carl's Jr. I think it was Wendy's, are shorting people for the fries.
Oh my god.
That you order a large, but you're not actually getting a large. It's the same weight of the medium, so you're getting
Well,
a
that's
medium
like
fry.
Starbucks, like, excuse me, Starbucks. So you get a small with no ice, and you get one of their large cups. I don't know what the fuck they're called, venti,
Yeah.
whatever. Is that what it is?
I believe
Okay.
so.
What are the other ones? Grande, and the grande should be the venti.
Small,
And
medium, large.
whatever,
That's what I
man. So
tell 'em.
anyway, the large cup. So you get a large cup of ice, but with a small, you know, thing of whatever juice, or I think it was
Whatever,
like
yeah.
flavored water. And they dump the fucking small cup in the big fucking cup with the fucking ice, and it fills it.
Yeah.
And they got you. They fucking got you. Like that
Could-
blew my mind. I was like,
Because that ice
Wow.
is displacing all that water.
oh yeah, for sure.
It's what it's. They're getting you with science. They're getting you with science, and we're too
Blinded me with science.
And we're walking around with rose-colored glasses on, so we're not even
Always.
noticing
Always.
that they're slowly
Always
charging us for more for less.
Look at the package.
Shiny,
It's new.
shiny.
It's by us.
It used to be 10 chips, now it's 6.5.
Oh my god. And that's the other thing, like Domino's is only giving you a certain amount of wings than before, but I'm pretty sure they're charging you for the
Yeah,
the
for
same
the
amount. Yeah, like
full
who
price.
was the other one? Burger King. Burger King did the same thing. You're not getting 10 nuggets, you're getting 8.
Well, I'm going to speak on something real quick on this. Have you noticed that fast food places don't serve a small anymore?
Yes, I did notice that. Their small is like is what used to be a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't call it a small, they just call it a medium. Like they don't even offer it. I haven't
don't
even
know.
seen it.
I've never asked.
I know they upsell to
always
get you to
go large.
supersize it. So do I. I just supersize it because I want that shit. I'm fat.
Yeah, so that's the thing going on with shrinkflation. I've been seeing it more and more, and not just on TikTok, but in other places, and I find it to be interesting because before I started reading about it and it started popping up for me, I had noticed it myself, and I was like, well, wasn't this more, or wasn't this bigger? Why is this so much? Like, why are we paying so much for fucking creamer? Creamer is like $7 now. A big thing of creamer is like $7. It could be up to $10 when it used to cost like $4.99 on a deal. It was like
With
you
a
got it for
coupon.
$3.99. Yeah. But now it's like crazy prices for everything. For everything. It's ridiculous. We went out to dinner. We took a friend out to dinner and a show. Um,
Mhm.
Nothing crazy.
It was
Kind of
crazy.
it was crazy. It was fun.
Yeah, you got
But
ripped.
yeah, I did. Um,
As soon as
they
you
don't need
drank
to
it,
know.
it activated. It went down and it activated.
I don't really drink. I think I've drank how many times this year?
2 times.
2 times. And they were kind of back to back.
Hmm.
It was the end of April and the end of May. I drank and I got pretty fucked up and
Yeah,
it was fun.
you drank all that shit,
I did.
and I had to become the designated driver.
I drank I drank quite a bit.
Yeah,
And but I was still standing and I was laughing and I had a blast. But we took my friend out to dinner and a show and we drank and we had a good time, but the bill was like
outrageous.
I want to say about 350 for the three of us. And it wasn't no fancy schmancy place. It wasn't like we got lobster and steak and lobster. It wasn't like that. It was I got a fucking pizza, a personal pizza. Dave got
I got a
a
burger.
burger, and what did he get?
I think he got a burger as well, or a sandwich,
So
something like
yeah,
that.
and it cost $350 for the
Well,
three
I
of
think just
us.
our food alone was somewhere in the realm of $80.
Still
And I know, I think
for
our
three people.
it was like $80 for
Yeah,
that.
I'm complaining.
The
I'm
rest of it
talking. I
was
had a fucking blast though. It was worth every fucking penny, but
the rest of it was
still,
booze.
that's insane.
Yeah.
I remember when we took your mom there, and I think it was $200 for the three of us, something like
Yeah,
that.
and the prices were a lot cheaper
Yeah,
because the sandwich, the burger I got, it was a $22 burger. It wasn't worth $22. It was worth probably like $18.
I am not gonna say the place's name, but
No, but
I've
I
never
know
had their burgers because I don't like restaurant burgers. The
it's
meat
too
is
thick.
too thick
Yeah,
and they don't cook it all the way, and I like my shit burnt and cooked through and through. And yeah, I know that's not how you're supposed to eat it, but that's how I eat it. He doesn't eat it like that. He likes the little pink in the middle.
yeah, I don't mind that.
Ugh, no. I cannot. I can't.
I like my steaks rare
I do not.
or medium, depending on
They
what
have
the
to be
place I'm
cooked all the
going.
way through for me.
Nah, I
And
like a little red in
no.
there, a little red in there.
No, no, no.
I'll even get them rare if it's a really good steakhouse. I'll get it rare. Almost squirming.
Yeah, no, not me. Gross.
But
Yeah,
I get it depending on you know the steakhouse, what their reputation is. If they got a shit reputation, you better cook my shit. I don't trust you.
yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like $350 for three people. I think that was just a lot. And
Yeah.
yeah, I drank and whatever, but I don't think it should have been that much for where we went. I'm not gonna say where we went, but it was. I don't feel that was worth that. It was $1,000 the when we went the
Yeah.
second time.
We got wild the second time. But anyway, but
Yeah.
remember what we were told last weekend about $35 shots. Yeah,
$35.
for a shot.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, when he said that, I was just like,
That shit better come with a gold.
I completely
shot
forgot
glass.
about that. Yeah, I was blown away by that number because I can't imagine paying that much for liquor. It's not.
For no, not liquor, a shot.
Well, it's liquor,
Yeah,
and no, absolutely not. Like I don't want to.
I'd have
I
been
don't
like,
want to.
well,
Hold
give me the
on.
glass and let me get a Long Island, and I'll
I
pour
don't
the
want
Long
to
Island in them
be.
glass.
I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody that drinks, but how the fuck do you people do it? Because I can't. I can't say to myself, hey, let's go to the bar and go and spend like $100 on 4 drinks. Like, that's fucking insane.
Maybe that's why our other friend talked about getting fellatio at the bar
Ew.
to pay for their
Oh
bar
my
bill.
God. I guess that's a thing.
And maybe that's why that
I don't go
occurs.
to the bar like that. The bar experiences that I've had are at gay bars, and for the most part, everyone else gets fucked up, and I'm the designated driver, so I don't drink like that. But yeah, I think it's just fucking crazy that people will go and throw their money away like that on drinks, but and it just it's nothing to them. It's like, whatever,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, to me, it's just not worth it.
Me
Hold
myself.
on. I'd rather spend my money on something that I can attain, like something that I can look at
Mm,
or wear or
something
consume, other
something
than
you have a memory
food,
of.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, something. But
A
just to
take
go
home.
have like 2 drinks and spend 50 fucking dollars, plus you got to give a tip, because I mean, they got to make their money,
Well,
you
you
know.
did get some commemorative glasses from the place
I
we went to.
did. I really did. They are sitting in my kitchen. I do plan on putting them in my office and displaying them because I'm actually very proud of those.
Of your
They
trophies
are so cute. Yeah, they're so cute.
of the night you went out drinking.
Man, yeah, I was so fucking shit faced. It was great. I had a great time. Thank you for that too.
You're welcome.
No.
I don't mind going to the bar and drinking, but the problem I have with going to the bar and drinking is I have to drink so much.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
it
because
takes a
David
lot.
is a tall man. It takes a lot for him to get fucked up.
I have a very high
He
tolerance. So
does have a high tolerance. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and yeah, this man can really. Hey, you know who else can?
who?
Oh, shout out to my sister. Shout out to my sister.
The only other
My
person I
sister
know
will
right now.
outdrink anybody in my family. I'm saying it. She will outdrink anybody. Like, she can hang. My sister can fucking hang, and she weighs about
A buck 05, soaking wet.
something like that. Yeah, like 105, maybe 110 pounds, and she's about 5'6".
Yeah.
And yeah, she can throw them back,
Yeah.
and she don't fuck around. I love my sister.
She's like old school Hank the Tank, that movie.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. Next thing you know, she's fucked up.
She's
And
fucked
out
up, but
drunk
she's the
drinking.
last one
Yeah.
standing.
And out drinking
Like my
everybody.
grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma
So,
used to drink.
out of your family, that's like the only one that I've met that can drink like me and keep up.
Yep.
Everybody else just falls
Everybody,
to the
yeah.
wayside. It's like
Yeah.
they just turn off after a certain point.
Yeah, that was that barbecue. We had a barbecue for my brother's birthday, and my ex-brother-in-law decided to serve drinks, and he was serving, what was it?
Margaritas.
No, it wasn't margaritas.
I
It
don't know.
was Belvedere and cranberry juice.
Oh yeah.
And
I
it
drank that too.
was 99% Belvedere, 1%
A splash
cranberry
of
juice.
cranberry for color.
Pretty much. And these people that took a cup from him, all by, I want to say 2 hours later, they were all gone. They were like fucked up and laid out somewhere and throwing up. And my sister was the last one standing.
Yeah, me and her still dancing a jig.
It's crazy. I've seen her do that shit, but yeah, she loves to drink, and she can hang.
Yeah,
I gotta give it to
she's a
her.
little old gal, but she knows how to wield
Yeah,
it.
she does. All right, I want to talk about something else. I want to move on to a movie that
What you
we've been
got?
watching. So, we've been watching Harry Potter. We've been watching The Wizarding World on Max. We watched the three Fantastic Beasts movies,
Correct.
and then we moved on to Harry Potter because
Correct.
that's what's next. And so we're at the Prisoner of Azkaban. I can't imagine that this is a spoiler alert for
If it
anyone
is too
at this
bad, you should have
point.
seen it. Too
Sorry.
bad.
If you haven't watched Harry Potter, go watch it.
Tough.
I am a fan. I love Harry Potter. Have the books and watch the movies.
Ridiculous.
And I've been a fan for quite some
Yeah.
time. So we're on the Prisoner of Azkaban, and it's excuse me, it's talking about we were talking about Peter Pettigrew, and he was Ron Weasley's rat
Yes.
in the movie.
Correct.
So then Dave and I are like we're watching it, and then we pause it because you brought up something. What was it?
Yes. So we were watching. Was it that? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the Prisoner of Azkaban. It was the one before it, wasn't it? No, it was the
No, it's
Prisoner.
a Prisoner
So in the
of
Prisoner
Azkaban.
of Azkaban, in the beginning, um, Harry takes the bus to the Leaky Cauldron, and he gets to the Leaky Cauldron. He meets the person, I forgot. I think it's what is it
The Minister
the
of
Minister
Magic.
of Magic. He meets him. They talk. Blah blah blah. They do their thing. He gets led to his room. He goes to his room, and he's in his room doing his thing, and then all of a sudden he hears Hermione and Ron. He hears
Arguing.
their voices, so he goes out of his room, and I think when he goes out of his room, he sees the rat go by, and the cat, Hermione's cat, and he goes to inspect what's going on, and he's starting to suspect that it's them, it's really them there, and he looks over the balcony and he sees them, and they see him, and they greet each other. And while this is happening, right before they saw him, uh, Ron has his rat, Scabbers,
Yeah.
and Hermione's holding her cat. I don't know what the name of the cat is.
Crookshanks.
And he's telling her, like, what the hell, and she's like, well, it's a cat. It's in its nature to chase rats. That's what he does. I can't help it. It is what it is. So I brought up to her, um, you know, well, we were talking about that, and you told me, like, what if the cat was not chasing the rat because it was in its nature, but because it knew it was, who is the guy's name? Pumpernickel? What's his name?
Peter Pettigrew.
That the cat could sense that it's really that
It's
person.
not a rat, it's something else.
Yeah.
Not necessarily knowing that it's a human being as a rat, but
Yes.
that it's not a rat, and that's why it's chasing it, was my theory, instead of, so that's why it went so hard for the rat, because it knew that it wasn't
What
a
it
real
was.
rat, it was
Correct.
something else. And then my other theory was the spell. So in the first Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone, in the beginning when they first meet, he has a rat in his lap, and they're sitting there eating all the junk food that Harry
Yes.
bought. And he tells them, he goes, "You want to see a spell?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, my brother taught me this spell." So he tries to turn the rat yellow. He does the spell, and it doesn't work, and that's when Hermione was like, "Yeah, let's see then, whatever." And she sees it, and she's like, "Whatever." And it makes it seem like Ron's spell didn't work, but my theory is, what if it did work on a real rat, but it didn't work on that one because he is Peter Pettigrew?
Correct.
That was my theory on that.
So it's interesting because you don't find out that this is the rat. What is his name? Scabber is really a person.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to her that when we were watching the Fantastic Beast, it's the third one, where at one point they talk about people who change into animals, and they can only do it so many times, and they can only stay like that for so long. And if they exceed
Before-
those
yeah.
two things, whether you do it too many times or you stay too long as that animal, you can't come back.
Yeah.
Somebody has to bring you back out of that form.
Yeah,
basically.
and that's why he was stuck as a rat.
Yes.
and that's why they had to change him back into Peter Pettigrew. That was what you were talking
Yeah.
about. But yeah, that was my theory on that. And then we talked about the other theory, which I thought was interesting. It was a theory that went around on TikTok about Hagrid, that he is actually a very powerful wizard, um, that Voldemort knew that he was a powerful wizard and took him out so that he wouldn't interfere, because he knew that he wouldn't be able to beat him. So when Hagrid, what was it, in the Chamber of Secrets? That's book 2, movie 2. In the Chamber of Secrets,
Yeah.
it shows that, the story is based on who opened the Chamber of Secrets, and they made it seem like it was Hagrid, and it wasn't Hagrid, it was Voldemort. But it showed how Hagrid got in trouble. He got expelled from Hogwarts. So what happens is that they take his wand and they snap it in half. But if you watch the movies and pay attention and think about this theory, you get to see that he's still using magic. He's not supposed to, but he does. He
Mm-hmm.
has his little wand and his umbrella until they clear his name, and then after that he can use magic. But he didn't go through the 7 years of Hogwarts
Yeah.
and learn all the things he should have learned. Everything he's learned, he's had to learn on his own, pretty much, or through Dumbledore.
And that's my thing. My theory is
Yeah.
that Dumbledore actually taught him how to do certain spells and how to do things. He doesn't have the full knowledge, but he has enough to do what he
No,
needs
yeah.
to do. And the
Absolutely.
reason I feel this way, and the reason I feel that Dumbledore was onto it with him, and him having a actual wand in his umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
is because in Fantastic Beasts, he gives the baker a wand,
Yeah,
and he's not a magical person.
correct.
So if Dumbledore, what makes me to believe that Dumbledore wouldn't do that later on?
And then I want to go circle back to Dumbledore, and what you said. How did he see them?
Oh
So
yes,
they are
and that's in
in.
the third movie.
Is it the third
No,
movie?
it's the secret of Little Secrets of
Chamber of
yeah.
Secrets. They're in Hagrid's hut. They are. Lucius Malfoy is there to take Hagrid
And the
to
minister.
Azkaban. Hold on, and the minister to take Hagrid to Azkaban, and also suspending Dumbledore at the same time
Hmm.
from Hogwarts, because we all know Lucius Malfoy is a real piece,
Hmm.
and so they're under him and Ron are under the invisibility cloak, and Hagrid knows they're there because he told him to get in the cloak, or
Yeah, to
under the
cover
cloak.
yourself back up.
But Dumbledore, he wasn't there, and he came in and he knew they were there. How did he know they were there?
From the moment he walked into
Mm-hmm.
Hagrid's house, she was like, "Oh, look at these dudes," but didn't say anything, didn't lead on to anything, didn't even let Hagrid know that
Yeah.
he knows that they're there,
Yeah.
and then proceeds to, after they have their monologues, their discussion of what's going to happen, what they're going to do to Hagrid, proceeds to go to Harry and Ron to give them a little, pro tip.
Like, there's always help at Hogwarts if you need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and turns around and
So
walks
is it
out.
the half moon glasses that help him see?
Yeah,
Or is it because he had all, like, he's just that great of a wizard? The other
I
thing is,
I think it's the glasses.
okay,
I think
so
he's got the glasses are magical and they allow un things that are invisible to be seen through those glasses.
I also found it very interesting that um he had all three things from the Deathly Hollows. He had, and I believe he's the one that gave Harry the invisibility cloak.
Hmm.
He also had the wand,
Yeah, yeah,
and he had the stone.
yeah.
in the snitch.
Hmm.
And he gave this, when he died, he gave the snitch to Harry, and the stone was inside of it. And I
So,
find it, hold on, I find it very interesting. He had all three things,
hmm,
and that I know of from based off of these books, he didn't abuse those powers.
hmm.
I want to say I'm pretty sure because he did use the wand as his.
Well,
It was the elder wand.
well, again, remember what they say about wands. Wands choose the
That's
owner,
true.
and
You have
any
to
and
take it from that
yeah,
person.
if you take someone's wand in a duel, the wand becomes yours. So either the wand he found the wand and it chose him,
Yeah.
or he took it from the previous person.
That's my favorite story, the three brothers, the story
Yeah.
of the three brothers.
Now I'm gonna circle back to the
Mm-hmm.
cloak. If Dumbledore gave Harry the cloak, then it would only make sense for his glasses to be enchanted to see what's
Mm-hmm.
cloaked
Yeah,
because he would
that
have
makes
it.
sense. Because he knows. So
Hmm.
now he knows he has to look for Harry, and he already knows that Harry needs special attention,
Hmm.
even though it was it was pretty crappy at the end when they show Snape talking
Hmm.
to Dumbledore, and he's like, "What's in it for me?"
Hmm.
Like, he didn't give a fuck about Harry. He was not trying to help. He was just like, and throughout the whole series, of course, they make Snape look like the bad guy, but throughout the whole series, you love Dumbledore. They make you love him throughout the whole thing, and when it gets to the end, it's soul crushing, him not really caring about Harry that way,
Hmm.
and him basically doing it for something and not because he actually wanted to.
Hmm.
So today, well, not today, when we watched the first one the other day, I looked at him in a different light, because, and I didn't, because I've seen it over and over again, but I don't know why. I guess because I read the book.
Probably so.
I know, because I read the books
Well, because remember
recently.
we were stopping. I was stopping the movie to ask you certain questions because
No, no, no.
I know
But
it's a pretty close adaptation from the
no,
books,
I get that.
but they had to leave certain things out.
No, that's not even it, though. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just that because I read the books recently.
Oh, okay,
That's why. I read
got
the
it.
books recently, and then we were done with Star Wars,
Hmm.
and our next series was going to be Harry Potter, and we watched the Fantastic Beast movies, and then we went
Yeah.
into it. And when we watched that first Harry Potter, and I watched him knowing, even though like I said, I've seen it over and over again, it's just, I see him in a different light now. He's just a real piece of shit. He's a real piece of shit. I mean, he still does take care of him. He gives him advice and all of that.
He has
But
ulterior motives.
but it also, it's an eye opener for Harry, because he admired this man, and in reality this man didn't care about him, and it was the guy who he thought hated him, and he didn't.
Hmm.
He loved him. He loved him and wanted to make sure that the love of his life, son, made it basically to adulthood. Like,
To where
he
he can
wanted
protect
him
himself.
to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting
It
where she
was.
went with the story,
What is
but
it? It's misdirection.
yeah, it was very good, but it was also like so eye-opening, and I loved it because I love the whole series, because you grow with the character,
Hmm.
and as time goes on and each book, it just gets darker and darker and darker, and I thought it was very well written.
Yeah. And well, that's what I was also saying about the Fantastic Beast movies was I feel the Harry Potter movies from the beginning they give you an emotional connection to the characters.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the Fantastic Beast movies, you don't have that emotional connection. You're not really you're watching them because of the world that's built around them because of Harry Potter,
Yeah.
but the characters are kind of meh. Eh, it's cool. They have some cool things. They do
Yeah.
some cool stuff, but you're not connected to them.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the fact that this person, she created
Hmm.
an entire world based on witches and wizards, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a very good story. I love me a good story, and that's a great story to me. The boy that lived, and
Hmm.
everything that he went through up until the end. And I like the little stories that she created, like
The side
um
stories inside of
yeah,
them.
and that's why I told you the three brothers, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
um if you don't know about the three brothers, look it up on YouTube. um it's about three brothers that traveled, and one got they were supposed to die on a river, and they used magic to create a bridge, and Death felt cheated, so Death was like, um I'll hook you up for
Yeah.
what you did, you know. And so he gave one, wanted um what was it? He wanted to be able to bring back the dead.
Yeah,
So
eternal
he
life.
gave him the stone, and then the other one wanted power, so he gave him the wand, and the other one wanted to be invisible of from death. So death cut off a piece of his cloak
Hmm.
and gave it to him, and he disappeared. And so one by one they started coming, you know, started to die, and he didn't feel bad about doing it because eventually he knew he was going to get his man,
Hmm.
and that's what happened. The first brother died.
Death comes for them all, no matter
Yeah,
how
no
long it
matter
takes.
exactly. And came for the first one because not only did he have power in his wand, but everybody wanted that power, and they killed him to have it. And then the other brother died because he lost the love of his life. He brought her back with the stone, but the stone brought the vessel back, but not the soul.
Hmm.
And
Wasn't the same.
it wasn't the same, and he was devastated, and so he killed himself. So there went that brother. And but for years and years he wanted to collect the third brother, and the third brother never appeared until he was ready to go. And so that's how the
Yeah.
Deathly Hollows came about, and it's a great story. And
Well,
the little animation that they do in the movie, I loved it. I thought it was
yeah.
absolutely wonderful, and the fact that she created not just that story but all these different sub stories to just from Harry Potter. What a great mind.
Well, I think that's not just with her, but other major franchises other than Marvel. I can't count Marvel in that situation because those are multiple different writers. This is we're talking about one person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, like
Sorry.
the Star Wars movies, the ones that Lucas originally did, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
originally did as in originally filmed. I'm talking about the actual story that he originally wrote before he actually filmed them. Um, Gene Roddenberry with Star Trek. I mean, that's another situation. Those weren't books, but that was a whole universe that he created.
No, yeah. I have to watch Star Trek cuz I've always found it so boring. But I think to myself, maybe because I haven't watched it from the beginning. So,
What do you mean?
so
The
for
are you? Well, let me ask you this: Are you talking about Kirk or are you talking about Picard?
I want to say Kirk because
James
that's
T.
where it started, right?
Yes.
So I feel like I should watch that because I can't. I don't. I just don't see myself getting into it in the middle of it. So when they did show them, even as reruns growing up, because we weren't,
You didn't care
yeah,
for it.
I didn't care for it. It was just, and then with Picard, it was the same shit. I was just like, no, I'd rather watch Star Wars.
Um, I watched them both, but when I would watch them, they were reruns. I never watched it when it aired. As far as like every episode that dropped, I wasn't there to sit there and watch it.
No,
I
I
would
get
watch
that.
them because they would rerun them on regular TV
Hmm.
late nights,
Yeah.
and that's when I would watch them because most of the time at late nights I was drunk and it was something cool to watch to take to pass some time while
Ain't that'll
I
be.
get ready to pass out. And then when I'm ready to pass out, I would put on Mash. Do,
Oh my
do,
God.
do,
I
do,
used to
do, do.
hate that show. I tried watching it and maybe I was just too young. I
Mhm.
can't I just no. That as soon as that came on, you knew it was time for bed.
That's what I'm saying. I put
It
on
was
Mash and
time
I was
for
out.
bed. As soon as that came on, I was like, ugh, I
Yeah.
gotta go to sleep
But
now.
that's I'm gonna tell our age. That's when TV turned off
Yeah.
and you got bars on the screen.
Bars on screen and
That
or no,
that anthem will play.
the national anthem and then the bars on the screen.
Good night.
Dead
See you
air.
later.
Yep. That I haven't seen that in ages.
So,
Other than in movies.
but yeah, so back then that's how I would watch Star Trek. But I did watch the movies. If you're not gonna watch the TV shows, I would say watch the movies. You already know the players. You know Kirk, you know Spock, you know what's the other
Sure.
one?
I don't know.
You know Scotty,
Sure.
you know Bones,
Not
the
really,
med
but okay.
the doctor. You know
Yeah,
he
no.
comes with the wee woo and checks you out.
Okay.
uh, Lieutenant O'Hara, the communications expert.
Okay, but no.
So
And we're talking about like great minds and stories, so
yeah,
I get where you're coming from in
but
regards to that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not gonna watch the TV show, you don't have to. They did make movies with those original cast characters, and they were pretty good. Um,
Like, which movie I think they did a great job with in like the series until at a certain point it kind of just
Deflated.
stopped trying. Transformers. I thought those were good movies.
Um,
I liked the first one, second one. The third one was with the new girlfriend, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't care for that. After that, it was downhill for me.
yeah. To be honest with you, I like both iterations of the Transformers series, except for the Bumblebee movie. I didn't care for that.
I liked it.
I didn't really care for it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my. I think it wasn't geared to me type of thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I wasn't the demographic they were going after, so it had its moments, but it was kind of like, this is kind of an afterthought for me. You know what I mean? But what I liked about the Transformers movies, it wasn't that they were super great movies. They were these like, you know, hell of a movies. To me, they were just entertaining. They were entertaining movies. I got to see childhood toys on the big screen. And I thought for what it was done good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Now, when you go and look at another childhood movie of mine, that or toy that they tried to make a movie with, it sucked all the way around was GI Joe.
Mhm.
So Transformers did a better job at that.
I'm looking forward to seeing this Barbie movie. I want to see if it's any good. I want to see if they did a good job in telling the story, whatever the
Hmm.
story is. I like Barbie, so I want to watch.
Yeah,
I'm curious to know what's going to happen. But yeah, sometimes they do a good job, sometimes not so much.
yeah.
Like the first Wonder Woman, man, that was great. It was great. And I think had they done the second Wonder Woman kind of like the first one, I think they would have done better showing her background, showing her like how they started,
Yeah.
where they showed us that she cheated and that she was punished for that, and she was like she was outraged,
Yeah.
and she didn't think it was fair, but I thought that they could have done more of that instead of what they did. And I don't know, it was just the story lackluster, and it wasn't that great, but
Hmm.
I still watch it because I'm a big fan of Wonder Woman. I don't know if you can see her back here, but she's pretty much here. All this right. I
So
love Wonder Woman. So yeah, I was a little disappointed about 1984, but yeah.
I think they tried to do too much, and instead of, I feel that they should have left some stuff on the table for a third movie.
Yeah.
In that movie, I think that they had too many villains in that movie to focus. You had two villains that you had to
Oh
focus
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah. What's her face?
and
Uh,
I think that that was too many.
so Kristen Wiig's character, I was not a fan of at all. Like I didn't like her for that part. Um, I didn't think she fit the role as what's her
Cheetah.
name? Cheetah. I didn't think she fit the role for that, to be honest with you. It just I didn't care for her as Cheetah or the character
Before she turned into
before.
Cheetah.
Yeah, exactly. What's the guy's name for the Mandalorian?
I can't think of his name
I
right
can't
now.
think of his name either, but you know what I'm talking
Pasquale.
about. Yeah, that guy. Um, I thought he was good as the bad guy. I thought he played it well.
So my thing that I mentioned to you before was Pasquale's character should have been the main villain, should have been the only villain,
The only villain.
and it should have, that should have been more of the focus
Yeah,
between those two, that dynamic. Even bringing back Steve, the Steve
but
character.
that's
Hold on,
all over with now.
I know, but even bringing back the Steve character as a reincarnated soul snatcher or body snatcher, even that was, I could have lived with that.
No, I get
The
that.
Cheetah character should have been just her friend who helped her solve the mystery, and left Cheetah to be in the third movie because now she's jealous of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I hear you, but that's
That's
not
how
what
they should
happened.
have done it, but instead
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
they they put all this other stuff in there to try to hype it up. And
Yeah.
a lot of times when they do these movies, especially with superhero movies, sometimes less is more. Especially with action movies, less is more. You don't need, you don't need that,
No, I get that.
um
It's just disappointing now that we don't get to see any more of that. I feel that I'm disappointed because Marvel kicked ass. Like I mean, they beat the fucking pants off of DC as far as movies go.
yeah.
As far as going on based off of the comic books and the stories themselves. Not only did they create these wonderful movies, and each character, almost each character, got their own movie,
Hmm.
and maybe even three parts of that.
Hmm.
Thor, Hulk. Well, he got several, but you know what I mean. Iron Man,
Hmm.
like they all got
They got
their
some. They
yeah.
got their
And
comeuppance.
then you got the other ones who got TV shows, a series or whatever.
Hmm.
Like they really did a number with Marvel, but DC has just been a constant disappointment because it's just I feel like they just never were able to pick up that ball and run with it. They just
Hmm.
keep dropping it. And
Yeah,
now they're starting the series over and with new people and all this shit. It's like
a
make
little
up
too
your
long, too
hold on.
late.
Make up your fucking mind
Yeah.
because the Batman, no. I'm sorry, but no. I no. The story was boring. He was an emo Batman. I didn't care for him
Hmm.
at all. And it was a waste of my time. Honestly, I can't get that time back.
So,
But hold on. But that's basically where I'm at.
mhm.
Um in regards to Marvel and DC, Marvel beat the pants off of DC. DC has just been a mess. It's been a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And I think they have these great stories and they haven't done anything but tease us with these great movies just to tell us, nope, we're gonna move on to something else.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of tired of that with DC. They did Christopher Reeves, like that was great. He was great as Superman. I loved him. And then they tried to do it with that guy.
Well, here's the problem with DC.
Wait. And that story was not good. It was not
Yeah.
an end and okay, so far in the Supermans that I've seen, the out of two, what's his name, Lex Luthor, there's only been two that I liked, that I thought were great, and that was what's his name from the original, what's his name,
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Great actor, and greatest criminal mind of our time.
Hmm.
And yeah, I thought he was great. And I also liked oh my god, I can't remember his name, from Smallville. He played Lex Luthor. I think his name is Michael something. And he was great as Lex Luthor. Even his dad was great
Hmm.
as his dad, as the Luthor dad.
Hmm.
But the ones that they've chosen, who was it? Kevin Spacey.
I liked him as
I did not like that man as Lex Luthor, or the other guy. What's his name?
I did not like him.
He
The
was a
guy from,
part.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the Batman versus Superman movie.
yeah. I don't like.
That was bad cast.
I don't like him as. I don't like him in anything. To be
So
honest.
what I was trying to say is
Sorry, I just don't. I don't want to shit on the guy, but I just don't care for him.
yeah,
Sorry, go on.
yeah, I don't care for him
Yeah,
either, especially as in that role.
yeah.
I
I'm
haven't
sure
really
he's a nice
seen.
person, but
I haven't seen him in something I really care for.
I don't think he was a good fit for that.
But the problem with DC is, unlike Marvel, you have two executives that have a vision.
Yeah,
They understand what's going on.
yeah,
One of them is a comic book guy,
yeah.
and the other one is kind of on the other side of that and understands how this should go. DC does not have that. And because DC doesn't have that, you have executives who don't know anything about these characters really, other than
Yeah.
they can put asses in seats, and that's really all they care about. So now, then we got Snyder. Snyder understands these things, and he was trying to make it happen. You know what I mean? Um, they fell out. Warner Brothers and DC fell out. Whatever. I don't. Snyder and Warner Brothers fell out. I don't
Shocker.
know. Whatever happened, and so you didn't have anybody for a while.
Yeah,
Now, you know, James Gunn was over at Marvel doing his thing over there. They let him go because of some old ancient tweets that resurfaced, so they jumped the gun and fired him.
wait.
Hold on, hold on. They jumped the gun and fired him. Then he went over to DC and he did Suicide Squad, the second one, which was eh. It was still eh. You know what I mean? It was better than the first one, but it was still eh. So he comes. Then James Gunn comes back and to Marvel, and he does the final installment to the um, Guardians movie. Great, whatever. But then at the same time, he gets hired by Warner Brothers DC to run the DCU, which is great because I feel maybe because he knows how to do this. But the things that James is doing, a lot of fans aren't happy with because they want to see the characters from the Snyderverse, as they call it, to continue on, and they want to get the closure from those actors as those characters. You know what I mean? People want to
Mm-hmm.
see Henry Cavill at least do another Superman. He was
Cavill.
promised another Superman, didn't get another Man of Steel
Yeah.
movie. People wanted to see Ben Affleck to continue on as Batman. That's not going to happen. Even though people didn't like Ezra Miller because of his personal stuff, he did do a good job with the Flash. As far as the Flash movie, I heard it's bombing because of Ezra Miller, but that's whatever, you know. Um, Now you have some movies that now at this point, because everyone knows that DC is going to reboot at the end of the year,
Yeah.
no one cares about these movies.
Yeah.
So no one cares about Aquaman 2. Aquaman doesn't even care about Aquaman 2.
It that
hold
but
on, hold
that's
on, hold on, hold
oh,
on. Aquaman doesn't even care about it. Now the problem that I have, which I don't know if this movie is going to continue on or not, or if it's going to be stuck in this limbo, is the movie Blue Beetle. It looks really good. I'm interested in watching that movie.
yeah.
Um, and it kind of sucks because I don't know if it's been said if this movie's going to continue on. It's kind of like the whole situation with Scarlett Johansson. She gets the Black Widow movie finally, but her character's already dead. So what's the point? What is the point?
Yeah, I hear you. I think that movie was
It's an afterthought.
it no, no, no. It wasn't that it was an afterthought. The story was horrible. It should have been an origin story for one. Like that not it wasn't a good movie.
It was an
And
afterthought.
yeah, it was just bad.
It
It
was
was
an
bad.
afterthought.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
you.
And
Relax. Afterthought.
what I mean by that is, I feel like they only gave her that movie not only because her character was dead, but they gave her that movie because they were contractually obligated to do a Black Widow movie, and that's what they had. The action sequences, of course, they were good, no problems with that. But the story itself,
The story itself was not
yeah,
good.
it's not that great.
No.
And the fact that that
I'm
movie
all
should have
about
came out
good story.
that movie should have came out before her character died, and it would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot better draw. But the fact that it came out after her character's already dead, it's like, what is this? Is this is this someone remembering all this? Is this being told from the eyes of the sister who lived on,
Yeah.
or what? So it's one of those things. So that's why when that movie came out, even though I like Scarlett Johansson and I liked what she did with the Widow character, I had no real interest in going to see that movie. And it was like, I'll wait till it comes on streaming.
Well,
And that's
if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't supposed to be streamed until after the theater run, but
Yeah.
because COVID was still a thing, that's why they ran it the way they did, and she sued them over that.
But that's neither
But
here or there. It's
no,
still
I know.
a bad
I'm
movie.
just okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that part doesn't matter. It was still a bad movie. It still had bad timing as far as the character life expectancy because the character was already dead.
Yeah.
And it's kind of how I feel about the DCU right now. Is are the I don't really care about watching them in the theater because everything is going to be done. So when we had the second Shazam movie come out, I didn't care to go see it.
It was good though.
It was all right. It was all right.
I liked it.
But my thing was like, okay, it was an all right movie, but this is all for naught. So why would I want to go
I
spend my money?
understand
You know
that.
what I mean?
It's just you are a hardcore comic book person. I am not.
No, I know.
That's the difference here. So you feel that way, and I understand, but I don't feel the same. I feel disappointed and let down in the fact that you're not going to continue with those same actors and you're starting off with new people, and now you're making me like a fan of someone new, possibly not. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
it sucks. It's a very sucky situation, and the people at DC and that universe need to get their shit together. That's how
Well,
I feel about it.
that's why a lot of people are mad at James Gunn and they're talking crap about James Gunn and what's going on with stuff there. I'm like, my thing is, look, whether they
Put your little
continue
crusty hand down.
whether they continue the characters that we the act with the actors that we've known or not. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt by next year and see what he does with this Superman movie.
Yeah.
And if and I hope for his sake that it does well, because if it doesn't do well, everybody's gonna be right about why did you let Henry Cavill walk? Why did you do him that way?
Yeah, who cares at
So
this point? You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and they don't give a fuck what we think. We're just a consumer, and we're
yeah,
gonna fucking,
gonna
you
buy it
know,
anyway.
we're gonna take it how they give it to us, and that's just what it is.
And
Period.
I think Aquaman is gonna do great for the opening weekend, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the hype that it's gonna get, it's not gonna be for the movie itself. Yeah, the movie may be good, or you know what I mean. But I think that a lot of the hype that the movie's gonna get is because people want to see how much Amber Heard is a part of the movie.
That bitch.
But
Do I have any? Oh yeah, I do. I was saying, do I have any Henry Cavill Superman? And I do. I
yeah.
have the whole
So if anybody
Justice
knows
League.
Henry Cavill, could you point him to our show so we can have him sign some stuff? I'm just joking, but for real.
Yeah.
So I
So
think that's gonna be it for the night, for the show,
yeah.
and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've been this far, thanks for liking and watching, and please drop a comment and hit that subscribe notification if you don't
Yes.
mind.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Peace.